Hey guys, it's me, Fierce MC, back with a new video. In today's video, I want to discuss the Bf2042 2042 Beta and my impressions on it. It's going to be the good, the bad, and the ugly of the beta. So if you're interested in this, make sure to leave a like, to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and join this Discord to stay up to date on all the Battlefield 2042 news, because I will be covering this game to death. You can be sure of that. The first thing I want to talk about is the good. Now, just to get this out of the way, the good is going to be a lot shorter than the other two sections of the video. This is not necessarily because I didn't find like a lot of things good with the game. I found the game to be really fun and really enjoyable for the most part. However, I just had a lot more stuff to say about the bad because a lot of stuff. Because the bad is a lot more noticeable than the good. Because of course this bad's gonna be out there as the beta, so I understand that this is beta and they're trying to be switching for the final game's release. But just understand the bad part of the section is gonna be a lot longer. The first thing I want to say is the gunplay. Now, I like how the gunplay feels. It feels fun, it feels responsive, it kind of feels like I'm playing a Call of Duty game, which is good because Battlefield gunplay has always been hit or miss here and there. Also enjoy how they increase the bullet velocity of the weapon. In prior Battlefield games, bullet velocity was extremely slow, so you need to lead your targets a lot. However, this is a bit of a downside. Significant downside because I'm kind of used to the slow bullet velocity of Battlefield games, so I was missing a lot of shots because I was overcompensating for the low bullet velocity. However, once I play the game long enough, I should be able to get a hang of it and do well. Another thing I think is good about the game is the grapple hook. I feel like the grapple hook was a very fun gadget and adds so much complexity to the game. I feel like it's the most diverse gadget and just extremely fun to use and take advantage of the flanks that are possible with the grapple gun. However, I do want to say something bad about the grapple gun, but this will be, of course, in the bad section of the video. It is a good thing and a bad thing. Next thing we'll talk about is the interaction between the different gadgets are extremely cool. For example, you're able to grapple onto Casper's drone. You're also able to throw C4 on Casper's drone and deliver it to other players. I feel like that's been really missing in Battlefield games because DICE seemingly hates fun and hates having features that seemingly players can exploit, with heavy quotations around exploit. That's like the game to have like fun features and fun combinations with different gadgets. Another thing I think is good is the movement. Movement feels really solid, responsive, and it feels like I'm not trying to constantly struggle against terrain to get where I want to go. I did not have problems getting stuck on anything. I felt the movement was really solid, so I think that's a good thing about the game. Another thing I think is good is that the effects of this game look really well optimized and look really good. I felt like the game's extremely beautiful. Of course, that being said, it's a Battlefield game. Battlefield games are known for being extremely good looking. So I thought this game just looked especially good looking compared to other games released in this year. I also really enjoyed the quick change optic system. I felt that really added to the gunfights and help you be able to switch up your weapon to do better in close range or medium range engagements, or even sometimes long range engagements. I felt it was all. It did not feel overpowered or I didn't feel like it negatively impacted the game experience, being able to not be punished for choosing a bad selection. I also found that the map didn't feel too empty. I never felt like I was running around looking for people to fight. I always felt like I can be in the action. And now, on to the bad. First, I want to say it's not all the bad is my own ideas or my own feedback. Some of the bad comes from members of the Lad Company 2 Discord server. So interested in joining the Discord server, where it's about to meet new people and talk about game experiences in Battlefield, just join the server. Anyway, first my feedback is the M5A3 felt too powerful and basically everyone was running it. It was basically the meta weapon of the game. It really need to nerf it or bring the other weapons more in line with the M5A3. I just want to say is that the revolver, I think it's called the M343 or something like that, it's just not very good. It has too much recoil to a point where it's basically unusable. You fire one shot, it's going to take you extremely off target. By the time you're able to reset your gun on the screen, you're basically already dead. Next thing I want to say is that McKay is far too meta. It feels like the other specialists are left by the wayside since he just offers far too much utility compared to other specialists, especially Phallic. I felt like she was really underpowered and no one basically used her, so it wasn't a lot of people getting revived there or a lot of people actually giving out healing. Speaking of healing, basically no one carried around health packs. Either carry around it's on my tip of my tongue, the Carl Gustav, I think it's called, the rocket launcher, or you carry around armor. And armor needs to be said that I absolutely hate armor. Armor needs to go. basically everyone runs around with it, and if you're not, you're at a sizable disadvantage. Not only that, it causes you to lose fights. The UF when a person didn't have armor is basically a crutch to the game. So similar to stop power in Call of Duty. And if they're going to keep armor, I feel like it should have a hit marker if you're shooting a player with armor on, similar to Warzone, so you actually get some feedback that person has armor, so you know, hey, this dude has armor, I need to shoot him for longer until you actually see him get the kill. Another thing I know is that loadoouts don't seem to sway between play sessions, and even in the same play sessions, you seem to change the loadout each time you respawn. That could be reset. And I found that extremely frustrating to have to change weapons back to my partisans every single time I spawned. I also found that it was extremely hard to tell friends from foe apart and secret being encounters. One way to solve this is to create specialists with different factions. McKay on your team will appear as McKay, while McKay on the enemy team will appear as some other different unique model, similar to RU or US. I fully understand this is like wishful thinking because the game wants to show off skins, and best way to show off skins is have your enemy player kills them. That's why the kill camera now goes up really close to the enemy player so you can see the skin they're wearing and their calling card and stuff like that. Another thing I know is that the notification sound for casters should be increased so you can actually hear when someone's sneaking up on you. It shouldn't just be just a red dot, or it should just be a ping on the map so you can actually tell someone's actually sneaking up on you. I got snuck up once while playing caster, and I had no idea the guy was there since the feedback for someone being around you was not clear enough. Another thing I noticed was the scoreboard was difficult to understand and you were unable to switch squad. I feel like the UI for the scoreboard needs to be improved. I need to actually be able to switch squads. Now, you may have been able to switch squads, but the UI is so difficult to understand that I wasn't able to actually switch squads. There appears to be a bug where you're not able to spawn vehicles even once available. I tried spawning vehicles multiple times during Battlefield 2042 and Beta, and I wasn't able to do that. I have no idea why I was unable to do so. It just scrolls the screen. You also weren't able to spawn at certain points even if they were available. There's no feedback to say, hey, this area is full or someone's in combat. There was a feedback if a friendly player was in combat. However, you weren't able to spawn like certain flags at all, even if clicked them multiple times. Now, this may be bug or it just has been implemented that you're unable to use the secondary scope inside the hyper site. So I felt like that should be fixed. We know it's going to be a feature because I believe in the gameplay review trailer that was a thing. I, however, could be wrong, so don't fact me on check that on that. Nothing knows that hit feedback could be noticed. Like hit markers could be improved just to make it a lot killer when you hit someone. I also noticed there's no kill assist counts as kill, which should be a thing. Because if you did most of the damage, you should get the credit for the kill. And I don't know if this is actually a thing because again, the kill feedback was not very clear. If I was getting the kill assist counts as kill. Also notice that sniper glint is hard to make out with all the ones featured in the environment, and so the glint should be made a bit more obvious. Maybe they could add like the rainbow tint that you had in Battlefield 1 when you're in this sweet spot. I feel like you should be able to get off ammo and health from supports and medics like in Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 1, since people aren't carrying around the medic kits and the support ammo boxes like in previous titles, so you should just be able to walk up and get ammo and health from them. It takes far too long to revive someone even if you're phallic, and I feel like that needs to be improved because otherwise I noticed people weren't able to reviving people because they simply were not holding the button long enough. So I feel like this needs to be fixed so people are actually reviving people. I feel like the AI needs to be improved. It's like the Rangers AI is kind of dumb and it will not follow you sometimes. As I know it's capable of getting off the roof of the launch site because I've seen it be able to do that. However, it wasn't consistently able to do that. So the pathing of the Ranger needs to be fixed. Also, the AI in general needs to be fixed. They're extremely easy to kill and often put up little to no resistance when you're fighting them. And my final bit of feedback that I know is that snipers need mill dots because you're not able to properly adjust for drop or adjust for a height when you're shooting people, since you have no frame of reference to where you're shooting at. You're basically just taking guess shots based off whatever you previously were able to hit. And now on to some community feedback suggestions. The first one comes from an alcoholic hedgehog. The animation of getting revived is really awkward and clunky, and I completely agree. After you get revived, it's often extremely confusing when you actually get control of your player, and it can be really frustrating to kill because of how clunky animation is. Again, I apologize if I mispronounced someone's name. The Tick says that reviving is weird because friendly players' weapons is as dropped on the floor too, and you end up picking them up instead of actually reviving someone. It would be better if the weapon only drops after the person's killed and it's sent back to a respawn screen. During the beta, the bot seemed to have access to equipment that the players don't. He mentions that he got torched by an incendiary grenade. Now I feel like this might be fixed when the game finally launches, or might not get fixed. It might get DLC weapons before other players have it, so we just have to wait and see. Pro player says rockets are both light and heavy helicopters are not good. You need literally 3 or 4 rockets to kill a single person. Light rocket packs and heavy rockets on both helicopters need to be buffed. Now I can personally speak on this because I don't play vehicle gameplay. So if it's really something I'm to say, please leave a comment to enlighten me if it really needs to buff. But I was going to take his word on it. Killian and Pro player also both mentioned that vehicle weapon sights seem to be misaligned and need to be fixed. Now, I believe this is to be the case, since I remember using the helicopter's miniguns and feel like my bullets are not going where I'm aiming at. Now, moving on from the bad to the ugly. Now, the ugly is going to be more based on general technical problems with the game, like performance-wise. Now, I have the 3060 as my, I think it's called GPU. Again, I'm not that good at computer stuff. Even with my 3040, there's still hiccups here and there, and I believe that's the recommended graphics card. There seems to be random screen tearing, which can be a bit jarring when you're playing a game. There seems to be an issue with players getting forced to be disconnected. I know some of my friends be randomly disconnected multiple times during the same round. And pro player matches, there are tons of rubber band issues and ping spikes here and there. Now, I personally didn't experience that much technical issues. But if you did experience some technical issues, make sure you leave a comment to tell me, and I'll try to hard it or pin it to a list of known bugs with the game. With that being said, guys, I feel like Battlefield 2042 is in a really good spot in gameplay wise. It just needs to be really polished up before launch. If they can do that, I know Battlefield 2042 can be one of the biggest games of the year. If they can manage to polish up all the bugs and fix some of the gameplay problems I had the game. So that being said, guys, for enjoying my content, make sure you like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and join the Discord. All links are always in the description down below. And I'm the Fierce WC, and peace.